Let me catch my breath. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the show. Episode 35 is here. We are officially 15 episodes away from our 50th episode, and I'm so excited about that. It's a little PSA for this episode. I'm doing it with my window open, so if you guys hear this rooster crowing or the cars passing, just act like you don't hear it. Also, I have the most gut twisting and knife shanking cramps that anybody could ever have in their entire life. And the only thing that's not making me want to throw my life up is having the window open so the natural breeze can blow on my face. I don't know. It's what my body wanted, y'all. I tried to record a few times with it closed, but I couldn't. So, and since we're on the topic, before I jump into the episode, the cramps that I'm receiving right now have to be because my Nexplanon is expired. I have the birth control in my arm. It expired not that long ago, okay? Not that long ago. But it is expired. I already made my appointment to get it taken out and stuff like that. But the reason I got this form of birth control is because before I had birth control, my cramps were like life melting. Like, I could not be an active, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go to school as a teenager. I couldn't do anything when my period was on because I just had to suffer. I had those cramps where I just couldn't move. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't walk. I just had to sit there with a heating pad, some Midol, and a Twix, and just be miserable. And they were so bad to the point where I would throw up. Y'all, it was bad. And for the first time, I've had this Nexplanon for about 6 years now. For the first time in almost 7 years, these cramps are actually kicking my ass the same way they used to when I was a teenager. And 25-year-old me don't know, I don't know how to deal with it anymore. The problem was solved. I need my appointment to come up immediately because I can't handle how intense these cramps are. I was crying all last night. Not even really crying. I mean, tears were coming out, but I was just whining. I was just y'all know that roll we do in the bed? It's just oh my God, please make it stop. They're really out to get me. Episode, if y'all hear me do a slight little whimper or just just know that my stomach is doing numbers on me. Anyway, let's jump right into the episode today, guys. Have a lot of cute stuff I want to talk about. But before I do, I want to tell you guys two, they weren't negative feedbacks. They were just somebody was oh, I'm confused because I thought this podcast was something else and it's not. I take constructive criticism very well, so it didn't bother me, but I felt like I had to defend myself in my podcast because y'all know I'm real sensitive about this. I love her, so I'm anybody who talks crazy, I'm just wait, let me explain. So I had this girl DM me on Instagram, and she's actually been following my podcast for a while, maybe one of the first people to follow me when I made the Instagram page for it, right? So in the DM, she was basically saying oh my God, I wish that this was a video podcast already so that I could put a screenshot up on the screen. But she was basically hey girl, I've been listening to the podcast since episode 10 or whatever. She was I loved the first couple of episodes because they were so relatable and stuff like that. She was but I wanted to put some of my friends onto the podcast, which is gang. That's wonderful. But she was is this a mental health podcast? Because a lot of the stuff you talked about in the earlier episodes were dealing with mommy issues and mental health and all this stuff, right? And so she was I just don't want to, what did she say? She was I don't want to recommend it to my friend if it's just a regular podcast or something like that. She wanted to know if it was specifically a mental health podcast, which is a great question, right? Because I also listen to podcasts that have specific, categories. Basically, what I took from that DM was that, kind of what I talked about in the first couple episodes, getting to know me and breaking down what I wanted to talk about on this podcast. Those were the attention grabbing episodes because they were literally the first 20 something episodes. And now that I'm in the 30s going on 40s, the content isn't the same, right? And let me explain why. So if you listen to this podcast, you know, faithfully, you know that I had someone tell me at one point that my podcast was really sad. Like, all I was talking about was getting abused as a child, childhood trauma, like, why I don't have any friends, like, why this, why that, like, woe is me type of podcast, right? When I edit a lot of that stuff out, right? Which is why the episodes end up only being like 45 minutes max. Because I edit out a lot of the stuff that I think is like, this is depressing as fuck. Like, nobody wants to click play and hear like, oh my God, my life sucks, you guys, help me. Like, nobody wants to hear that, right? So I took that to heart. I was like, damn, maybe I should start like talking about other stuff, you know, showing my personality a little bit more on the funny side. So that way, you know, people who aren't as chemically imbalanced or depressed or, you know, whatever, can also listen to the podcast and enjoy different aspects of it, right? Because I don't know, I just don't think I want this podcast to, it is for sure a mental health podcast, but I don't want that to be the only thing I talk about on this podcast, because it's just me and I don't want to talk in circles. So I have to give something else to make the content worthwhile, you know what I mean? And if it's not my face or if it's not my body, it has to be, you know, obviously what I talk about. I responded to the DM and I was like, hey girl, so this is a mental health based podcast. The base of this podcast is, you know, where I got all of my trauma from, how my personality was formed. See what I'm talking about, y'all? The cars, disrespectful. Why would you come down my street that hard? Basically, you know, me as a whole being chemically imbalanced, that's like the standing point that this podcast is about. No matter what point I make, it's always going to revert back to me being depressed, me having anxiety, me having a terrible childhood, right? Because that's who I am. But I have to use other parts of who I am if I'm going to make content. It can't all just be sad. Y'all know what the hell I'm trying to say, right? So that's what I responded. And then like the next day, somebody who I don't know, on YouTube, actually, this was a YouTube comment, and it was a very short, very straight to the point, comment. They were like, love the podcast, kind of all over the place though, so yeah, that's literally what it said, even the so yeah part. I was like, oh, okay. I could tell that I upload shorts on, YouTube and stuff, just so I can get my, you know, just the word out faster. It's, easily clickable, short little shit thing. And so I'm pretty sure that person came from a short, like checked out one episode and was just like, this bitch is all over the place. Even though I've talked about me wanting like segments and structure in this podcast, it's going to come a lot later. Like, I feel like the actual structure of the podcast is going to come as soon as the videos come, because I can't have so much structure. I'm just like sitting in my fucking room. You know what I mean? Like, there isn't much I could do about that. Plus, no matter how successful this podcast gets, there's always going to be a little bit of unhinged content, because that's just what I am. Like, I'm not this super professional ass bitch who's just like, okay, and today we're going to do this and we're going to do that. I'm just not that. So I don't know. That one kind of irritated me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I said I took it well. That one lit some fire up my ass. I'm not going to lie. Okay, guys, I want to start this episode off with like a dream that I had. I haven't told dreams on this podcast nearly as much as I want to. I have a lot of nightmares, first of all. When I have dreams, they're always like either super cute or super confusing. And the one I had 2 days ago was super cute, and I even wrote it down. Sidebar, the reason I don't share my dreams on this podcast, not like my aspirations, like my literal like dreams, like when I'm asleep. The reason I don't share my dreams on this podcast as much is because I did like a whole episode in the beginning of like this weird ass dream I had, and that's one of my least viewed episodes. And I was like, oh, y'all wasn't fucking with the Final Destination type shit I had. Okay, it's fine. This one was really sweet, and I even kind of tweaked it a little bit because it made me start thinking like, what would that actually look like? So I had a dream just about my morning. And it was such a sweet dream. Like, this dream had nothing, like, there was no plot, there was no action, it was just a really happy dream. So, like I said, it was just of me waking up in the morning doing my own little shit. So then, like I said, it got me thinking about what would my perfect morning look like, right? So I'm about to describe to y'all what my perfect morning would look like as, whatever job I do, whether it's doing this podcast, why did I say podcast like that? It's doing this podcast full time, whether I go back to being a flight attendant or whether I join the military. This would be my perfect morning, regardless of what my job is. So my perfect morning would be to wake up, right? Already accomplishment right there. Like, we already starting off good. So wake up, order my Starbucks. Y'all know my order: venti, iced chai, oat milk, brown sugar syrup, sweet cold foam, right? Maybe a chocolate croissant. I don't know. If I'm feeling crazy, we'll see. Also, sidebar, the way Starbucks like slowly became one of my like most frequent, is it a restaurant? I don't know, like coffee shops. It's crazy. Like, I'm not afraid to share my truth with y'all. I'm a Starbucks girly. Love it to death. And the craziest thing about that is I don't even get coffee. So, like, it's not even awesome. Like, I need it. It's not even awesome shit like that. It's like, I genuinely just really love the taste. And that's, like, my favorite drink in the entire world. And if a day goes by where I don't get it, I'm like, no, I do need it. Anyway, after I order my Starbucks, you know, I'm waiting for it to get delivered and stuff like that. I want to go to the bathroom, do a little salt scrub, exfoliating on my face, maybe my body. I'm going to take some warm water in a bottle and just, like, mist my face with it for a few seconds. Also, I want to heat the bottle up on the stove I don't know why I was heating the bottle up. In the dream, I was heating the water up on the stove in like this big ass pot just to pour it in a tiny ass water bottle to spray it on my face. But like just on the stove for the simple fact of like bringing out any pot possible, knowing damn well I don't cook in this apartment at all. At this point, Uber Eats is my emergency contact. Like, there will be no clanging, no chefing it up. Like, we're getting delivery. Then after like my whole skincare, shower routine and stuff like that, I want to play with my dog, which hopefully is going to be a Doberman because those are my favorite dogs. We just chill, you know, play a little fetch, do a couple tricks, give a little treats. I want to grab my food by the front door, sit on my couch, and watch anime and eat. Either watch anime and eat or play Sims and eat, however I'm feeling that morning. Just chill out like that until I have to start work, or lack thereof, hopefully. And then, y'all, imagine all of this in like one of those warehouse lofts. Y'all know like those lofts that got like converted from like a chocolate factory to like apartments, where it's like concrete floor, brick walls, you can see the pipes in the ceiling. Like, that's my shit. I love apartments like that. That sound like just the perfect morning. Like, it just sounds so good. And literally my perfect night would be like all of that in reverse and in the dark. Like, just the exact same thing. Throw in like a blunt and maybe something with potatoes, and that'll wrap the night up for me. I woke up from that dream. I was like, wow, how peaceful was that, right? Like, I'm not dreaming of like getting in a Maserati, driving to like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to live in a $6 million house. Hell, I don't really even want to live in a house. I'm a condo girl. And I was just like, wow, my dreams and aspirations are so attainable. Like, they're so simple and so, like, just not crazy at all. And the fact that I'm not living like that is really pissing me off. But like I said, the fact that they're so, like, there's somebody listening to this right now that does that every single morning. Like, you're literally living my dream. Like, it's such a normal ass dream to have, but it feels like it's so far away. I don't know. I love that. Love that. Oh, also, I don't know if I mentioned, but like Pilates has to be somewhere in there. Like, right after I like brush my teeth or something, or like right after I play with my dog, I have to go to Pilates every single day that I can, because that's just what I feel like 30-year-old Zaria would do. Like, you know, I feel like 30-year-old Zaria is going to be a vegan who goes to Pilates all the time, who just has like an unnecessary amount of animals in her house. I don't know about y'all, but that sounds rich to me. I mean, that just sounds like I'm living a goddamn life. I don't know how you view, you know, riches and you know, stuff like that, and how your perfect life is set up, but that sounds damn good to me. All right, y'all. So the next thing that I want to talk to you guys about is just a little story time. I remembered this story time like yesterday, because I was like slightly feeling myself, and then I remember this like horrific time where I was really smelling myself, y'all, and I got so humbled. Let me tell you. Oh my gosh. Okay, so first of all, y'all know that I'm from Virginia, right? Back in Virginia, I literally never got hit on. I never got moved to. Like, nobody was like, you're, like, nobody was trying to hit on me, right? I was just not that girl, because, you know, face was kind of murked, body was mid, you know, everything was just, it just wasn't. Plus, that's where I was from, so it was like, y'all know. And I moved to Florida, and you would have thought a bitch was Beyonce. Like, everything changed. Like the niggas is nigging. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know, y'all. And I was already grown when I moved out here, so it's not like I went through puberty or anything. Like, if y'all listen to the first episode, like, yeah, like, I don't know what happened. Like, everybody, well, all the men were just up my ass. And it freaked me out at first because, one, I'm not used to it. And second, y'all know I'm not, the most confident bitch. So, like, every time I get a compliment, I have to, like, register in my mind, like, are these people trying to fucking play you? Like, you trying to be fucking funny? And then I have to, like, siffle, like, out whether it's, like, an actual compliment or not, or are they trying to fucking joke? Right? So, after, realizing that they are genuine compliments and people are actually trying to flirt with me, I was like, oh my God, okay, well, this is new. And then a bitch got used to it, right? That's where the problem lies. I started getting used to it, right? And then I started to expect it, which is worse. Really started to eat my head up. Like, I don't even gotta do too much. Like, I just step out in pajamas and niggas are gonna be on my ass. Like, I was just really, like, feeding into the bullshit. One day I'm in the house, I'm having a real lazy day, right? I'm watching cartoons, eating Twix and cranberry juice, and I got the party pack of Twix, right? So I'm busting them down. It's that type of day, right? It's probably like 1 o'clock. I ain't take a shower yet, you know what I mean? Because it's like a Sunday. I'm not doing shit. I'm in the house eating. So then I get a text from my coworker at the time, and she was like, hey, you want to go to the gym around like 7? And I'm like, yeah, I do, right? I'm like, all right, I got something to do, tonight at the end of the day. We gonna chill. But then I started thinking about gas. And for some reason, y'all, I'm almost always on E. I don't know why. It's a problem me and my mom have. Like, I don't know why I just never love to I hate getting gas. Like, if I can make it around the corner on E, I'm gonna do it. Then I was like, nah, because I'll have a little bit more time to chill if I just go get gas now. And I know I'm not gonna want to do that shit at 7 o'clock at night. Like, I know I'm not gonna want to get gas later. So I was like, let me just do it now. And then I could come back and chill, and then I could just get dressed to go to the gym, and I could just go straight to the gym, like, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. All right, bet. So that's what I do. I get my ass up and go to the gas station. I'm wearing, like, light gray tights, a black tank top, and, like, my purple Crocs. On a better day than what this, like, turned out to be, the outfit kind of would have ate. Maybe, possibly, right? But since this day was that day, it didn't. It literally just rolled out of bed. My hair was probably in a ponytail. That's how you know I didn't give a fuck how I look, because I never wear my hair in a ponytail. I'm at the gas station. I go inside to pay for my gas because I never pump at the pump. They got me once. They'll never get me again. A bitch will always go inside to pay for gas now. I'm coming back to my car to pump the gas. I hear a dude behind me going, hey, excuse me. Hey, excuse me. So like I said, I'm expecting niggas to hit on me now. So I'm like rolling. I'm still walking. I haven't even turned around to face him. I'm walking. I'm rolling my eyes. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I can't even go. Shorty can't even go get gas. Like, oh my gosh, these niggas is on me. Like, they want my body so bad. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm just a humble civilian. Like, I just want gas and to go back home. Like, I'm not trying to give out my, like, I was really delusional. Ignoring him the first couple, hey, excuse me. But then he got, like, real close behind me. So I turned around like, yes, nigga, damn. Like, excuse me. What do you want? I'm tucking hair that's not even down, like, behind my ear and stuff like that. Just getting ready to be like, I'm married. Because that's what I say. Even though niggas don't care. That's just what I always say when I don't want to talk to nobody. Oh, this man looked me dead in the eye. And he leaned in. That's how I knew he was about to deliver some bad news. Whenever somebody lean in on your ass, when they don't have to tell you something, it's not about to be good information. So he leaned in real close, and I'm leaning back a little bit because I'm like, what the fuck? One thing about Florida, you can't be trusting niggas like that. So I lean back a little bit like, what we doing? Like, what's happening? Bitch, this dude say, hey, I don't know if you're on, like, that time of the month, or like what happened, but you got something like running down the back of your pants. My whole life could have just stopped right there. Jesus could have just yanked my ass up to the heavenly skies and was like, you know what, bitch, I've been meaning to grab you, and you've been running rogue for too long. I've been meaning to get you up here, and I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. As soon as I heard running down the back, I didn't even need to hear pants. I knew exactly what he was talking about, because that's like every woman's worst nightmare, right? But it get better. Wait, because it's not even what y'all think. I'm trying to turn around on my car and like look, but I can't see nothing, right? So he was like, yeah. He was like it's all over it. And I'm getting irritated because I can't see from the back. So I'm like, where the fuck is it to where I can't see from turning around and looking in the car? Like, where is it? I'm getting so frustrated. He's being so sweet. He was like, you want me to go in there and get you like a jacket or a cover up or something? Like he looked so concerned. He was like mortified, right? And wait till you hear rightfully so. Just wait. Now I'm embarrassed. So now I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. I still can't see what it is. I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, I would have literally walked around all day like that if you didn't tell me. Thank you so much. He was like, you good, Ma? Like, you straight? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm thinking like it's just blood. Like, I was like, I didn't even feel no cramps. Okay, I guess my period came early. He is like walking backwards, but like still looking at me like, all right, I'm gonna leave you, but you know, if you good, all right. And he get in his car, put my gas, not knowing what the hell is on my ass. There's people driving by staring at me. I'm like, okay, Zari, you must got like a kiddie pool of blood on the back of your pants, because what the fuck is everybody staring at you for? Get in the car. I get in the car. I go back home. Tank on full. I'm feeling good. I'd have forgot all about what was on the back of my pants. Y'all, I get in my room. I take them pants off. I go to fold them up to put them on the side of my bed. Y'all, it is chocolate melted all on the back of my fucking pants, bro. I tell you, it scared me for a second. I was like, oh, what the fuck is that? And then I smelt it and I was like, there's no way I just went out like that. Y'all, I had a Twix, a little mini party pack Twix in my pocket. And the bitch forgot to take it out when I went to the store. And I'm in Florida, y'all. It's 90 degrees in everybody's car. On the way to the gas station, it melted in my back pocket. Was I wearing tights? Because I had a pocket. So maybe I was wearing like joggers. I don't know, y'all. But when I tell you it was like milky chocolate, like it was wet on my ass, I was like, oh my fucking God. I looked like I shitted on myself. Like, just now, like as I was walking into the gas station, like it just happened. No wonder niggas was looking at me like my mind gone bad, because I'm walking around with a chocolatey ass that just looked like shit. When I tell y'all I wanted to kill myself, I was like, why does this only happen to me? What is the personal beef between me and just trying to live a regular life? Like, it was definitely like one of the worst days of my life. I just didn't even know what to do. Like, that's one of those things you're so embarrassed all you can do is laugh. Because the confidence I had to like fully reject this man on his game, I was just like, sir, I don't have a boyfriend. I don't want a man. Like, I'm a strong, independent black woman. No, I don't need you to pump my gas. And all homie was trying to do was help a sister out with what she had going on. That shit was crazy. I will never forget that, because it was one of the most lowest moments of my life. That leads me into a really good caveat. Since we're talking about, you know, the afterthought of being around people, anybody else, bro, ever go home like after like an outing or like an extended period of time where you had to like interact with people and you just sit back and overthink every single one of those interactions? It's just so absolutely cringed out by your personality. Even though nothing went wrong, you had a great time, everything was fire, like it was a great time. You're just so deeply uncomfortable with having to be more social than you'd like regularly be, that it just turns into like this personality autopilot where you're just like super outgoing, but not even fully locked in to retain any of the conversations like held between you or anybody else. You finally get home and like unravel back into your like actual self. You can't get the person you just pretended to be out of your head, because 50% of that entire experience was stressful as fuck, and literally all you were doing was be like an active member of society, like regular person shit, and you're like losing your mind over it. Happens to me all the time. Like, whether I'm at like a work function, a people function, a cookout, a celebration, a birthday party, whatever the fuck, anytime I have to be around people and like talk and like create this like outgoing ass personality, every single time I like get back home, I like break each one of them down and just like, oh my God, your personality is so weird. Like, you are such a weird bitch. Like, why are you like this? Like, and nothing went wrong. I'm just like, y'all. If anybody else has that, but like, it's disgusting. Even though when I'm in it, it feels like this is the normal thing to do. Like, this is what normal people do. They socialize, they have fun, they exchange numbers, exchange stories and shit like this. But deep down inside of me, y'all, I don't feel like a regular person. So it's like, y'all ever seen that meme on like Instagram or Twitter where like the I don't know how to explain it. Like, once this lady get home from like a day of interaction, she like unzips her body and like this red like demon like spills out. That's how I feel. Regular interaction just feels like alien to me, because I'm just like, I don't want to have to do this. Now, like I said, in the moment, I'll be genuinely having a great time. Having the time of my life. I was like, I can't believe I met so many great people. And then, like, the afterthought of, like, overthinking what they might have thought about me is it's just lame as hell. It's just like, I don't ever want to do that again. Like, let me stay here with my dog and my cartoons, and bro. Really, I cannot wait until, excuse me, I get the camera for this podcast, because the more, like, crazy stories I tell you guys, the more I wish y'all could see my face as I'm telling the story, because it'll hit a little bit different, and I can't wait. Hey guys, 2 more things and then I'm gonna wrap this episode up because my cramps are killing me. Like, I don't know if y'all can hear them from inside my body, but they're like, die bitch, die bitch, die. Recently I took a little trip, right, on an airplane, and like the old flight attendant in me, first of all, any job I've ever done, when I have to, like, and I obviously don't do it anymore, whenever I get back into that, like, field or, like, mindset, or whenever I'm just around that job, I immediately, like, sink back into when I was an employee, right? So when I was on the plane, first of all, I just want to talk about, can we call all the people that shit on planes to the front, please? I just want to be, maybe not the first, but I just want to be one of the ones to say, the chest that you motherfuckers have to open that door and release the Kraken to all these innocent people and babies will never fail to amaze me. And then to walk back to your seats with no shame, just letting stray bullets of absolute stank and funk just follow behind you back to 21F. Like, that shit really bothers me. Now, if you have, like, IBS, or if you have, like, a little situation you can't control, by all means, let me kiss my teeth a few times and roll my eyes, and then really I ain't got nothing. I can't do shit about that. You know what I'm saying? But for people who are just like, I'm gonna go take a shit, like, it's actually sinister, and I need you to be dealt with accordingly, because something, like, the people police need to come and grab you. I don't know what needs to happen to you, but something diabolical needs to happen to you immediately. I never understood that, bro. When I was a flight attendant, obviously there's one in the front, and my jump seat was always right beside the lav, and I promised you, every time somebody took a shit, I would damn near want to go switch with the other flight attendant. Like, you have to work B, bitch. You have to work the back of the plane, because I'm gonna throw up. I hate bodily liquids. Like, not all of them, but I just cannot take, like, shit that comes out of people's body, like, literally and figuratively. Like, I hate to smell anything that comes from a person, a burp, a fart, anything. That was genuinely one of the worst things about being a flight attendant. Like, the things people did in the lavatories, you would think it wouldn't shock me, but I promise you, every time it did. Like, somebody peed on the floor in front of the door. Like, somebody peed with the door open. People letting their kids walk in there barefoot. Like, it's just crazy. And also, speaking on flight attendants, let's talk about TikTok real quick. Whenever you see, like, a trick the system or a hack the system thing on TikTok, especially when it has to do with airlines, please do not listen to them fucking people. I was scrolling on TikTok the other day, this lady talking about flight attendants, when there's, like, an emergency landing or an impact, they teach you the wrong way to brace yourself because they want more people to die. What? So this bitch was literally teaching people to, like, put your feet up in the seat, have your knees to your chest, and, like, tuck your head in between your knees. Bitch, you are teaching people to break their necks. Like, what are you doing? I was so disgusted. And luckily, there were, like, actual flight attendants in the comments, like, please don't listen to her. Y'all are gonna die a lot quicker than you need to. Like, please do the brace position that we fucking tell you to do, and don't even listen to this bitch who don't even work in aviation in the first place. Like, I was so shocked at the people in the comments, like, they this is shit that they won't tell you for real because they trying to do population control. Like, nigga, you're stepping into population control listening to her. Like, where is her wings? Where is her scarf? Like, this bitch is showing nothing related or correlated to aviation. She's just a bitch in a Nike hoodie telling you wrong positions to do on an impact, and you're just taking her word for it. Like, I couldn't believe it. If it's not a lost bag, pet, or child, y'all need to just go ahead and take your L. Talk about the airline owes me a hotel room. No, they don't. If there's something wrong with the flight mechanically or crew member related, then yes, they owe you a hotel. Bitch, if it's thundering and lightning and there's a tsunami coming and your flight just so happened to get canceled because of that, because the pilot doesn't want to fly you into death, they don't owe you a hotel room because there's nothing they could do about that situation. It's a natural accident. So it's just like seeing shit like that and people like thinking they know better than the nigga who makes the actual rules. It's always like mind-boggling to me. You're going to end up in jail and you're not going to go on your trip at all. So let's just take the L. The next flight is tomorrow at 6 a.m. Just get your ass on that and be satisfied. Oh my gosh. I could literally talk about flight attendant stories forever. That job used to have me in a chokehold. Y'all, I'm going to wrap this episode up because I actually think I'm dying this time. Like, no funny shit. I think this might be the one. This might be the period that takes it home. Of course, let's end it with an Am I the Asshole? And let me tell y'all something first. This Am I the Asshole really gagged me because when I read the first top line, I thought it would be something totally different than what it was, right? I thought the title of this Am I the Asshole was taking me in a totally different area, but it didn't. So just listen. Am I the asshole for telling my fiance that if he ever touches my phone again, I will ghost him? My boyfriend, a 32-year-old male, and I, a 26-year-old female, have been together 3 years, and overall our relationship is fine most of the time. I know I'm on my phone too much. I have cut down though, and I'm not on it when we're spending time together. He had been pushing for a phone-free weekend for a while, and I finally agreed. Last weekend, we rented a house a couple hours away, and when we got there, I gave him my phone. The weekend was great until we started driving back to the house. I asked him where my phone was, and he was trying to convince me to wait until we got home. I told him I wanted to listen to something on the way back. We had to talk about it for about 20 minutes until he finally gave it back to me. Imagine my surprise when I started looking through my texts and found out my little sister had been in a terrible car wreck. It wasn't life or death, but she had some nasty injuries. Keep scrolling through my texts and realized not only did he already know about it, but was pretending to be me and texting my family back. I sat there just stewing in anger before I said anything, and finally I asked him what the fuck was he thinking. He says that we agreed to no phones, that my sister was fine, and he was monitoring the situation. Into a really bad argument, I told him that I couldn't believe how selfish he was being, and that I never want to hear another word about my phone usage since he couldn't stay off my phone the entire time, and that if he ever touches my phone again, especially pretending to be me to my family, I would ghost him. This really hurt him, and he started lashing out at me. Then he pulled over and just disappeared into the woods for 30 minutes. He thinks I went too far. He also said that the only reason he did it was for us to spend more time together alone because he loves me. Am I the asshole? Oh, when I said my face dropped, I was like, oh, this nigga's crazy. I had 2 words by the end of the story. Joe Goldberg, because there's no way. First of all, her like bringing it up to him was so calm and polite, and it's really truly the woman I wish to be, because I would have punched him in his fucking face. There's no way that somebody in my family got into a car accident and you don't even, not only do you not tell me about it, but you're replying to my mom, my little sister, to whoever, like you're me, and the whole time I don't got no damn clue about it. You lucky if I don't put your ass in the hospital. That's not, what you mean you monitoring the situation? Bitch, that's not the situation for you to be monitoring. It's for me to be monitoring. To storm off into the woods for 30 minutes like a child when you're the one who did something wrong. Promise you, if he would have left the keys in the truck, would have hightailed my ass back to the house and left him out there. Because you think that I'm pussy. Yeah, no. About some, I wanted to spend some time alone. You think that my phone is taking up space enough for us to feel like we're not alone if it's just the 2 of us in this fucking house? Now, if she really does have a problem being on her phone that much, okay. But I don't even know how to justify his half, because I've obviously been around people who are like addicted to their fucking phones, but there's different ways you go about that. Like, I don't know, y'all. I didn't like that at all. I was like, first of all, you are no longer my fiance. That's for damn sure. And second, I'm pretty sure I would put my hands on him, y'all. Like, and not even on some not expecting him to hit me back. I would want to fully blown fight him. Like, that's crazy to me. I don't know. Even if she was on her phone 23 hours out of the day, if somebody in my family got hurt and you don't tell me and pretend to be me throughout the whole situation, you got to get up out my life, brother. I don't know. I'm sorry. That's not cute. That's not cute at all. Let me know what y'all think. I might be tripping. Okay, guys, that's the end of the episode. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We are on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and you know your girl's on TikTok. Let's make this podcast the podcast. Okay, y'all? I want to hear you talk about it in the streets. 5 stars if you're feeling frisky, and 5 stars even if you're not. All the beautiful music in this episode is by the amazing Zoe Marie. Zoe's music can be found on all streaming platforms, so please go listen and love it just like I do. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.